When I first announced my run for Congress, I had this random white woman, liberal, walk up to me and ask, well, what about you isn't Democrat? To which I responded, well, besides my skin color, what about me is Democrat? And it was at that very moment that she realized that God gave her enough common sense to ask me about my values. Now, don't get me wrong, I was raised to vote Democrat down the ballot. So when I first started, I would say things like, I'm a Republican, but I'm not a conservative. But now I know all too well I am a full-fledged, hardcore conservative, and I'm proud of it. I mean, my favorite saying is I was born black, not Democrat. But in all seriousness, whenever I began to think for myself politically, the choice was easy. I mean, why would I want to belong to a party whose mission is to infringe on the Second Amendment as if a criminal would ever participate in something like a mandatory buyback? Why would I want to belong to and endorse a godless party? Because there is no such thing, and I mean no such thing as a trans child. We have confused children and sick enabling adults. Why would I want to belong to a party that takes pride in shedding innocent blood? Number one, as if that's not what God hates. Number two, as if there's not a black market for baby organs. And number three, as if abortion clinics didn't start in the hood. Because if you think Trump is bad, you should research exactly who Margaret Sanger was. But speaking of the black community, why would I want to belong to a party who's responsible for the foundation of the Triple K? But it's not just that. Supposedly in the 1900s, the party switched, right? But what never changed, what I noticed never changed, is Democrats' love for immigration and how they have always prioritized that over the black community. I mean, imagine every single Democrat leader helping you joke about what a black job is in 2024, exposing your ignorance on 1924 and how imperative the Immigration Act of that year was, how it was all reversed in 1965 with the Hart-Celler Act, how Congress refuses the advice of the Rockefeller Commission and the Hesburgh Commission, and how to this day they refuse to adopt the Barbara Jordan blueprint, validating every single thing that Dr. Claude Anderson spoke of generally, but specifically what Mrs. King spoke of in 1991 with her letter to Congress. Now, look, I'm not saying that the Republican Party is perfect. No, nobody's perfect. What I'm saying is I side with Malcolm X when he said that the liberals were the worst thing that could ever happen to the Western Hemisphere, but y'all ignore that, just like how y'all ignore LBJ saying, and I quote, I'm going to have Negroes voting Democrat for the next 200 years, and by God, 60 years later, I see no sign of recourse, but rest assured your vote is your voice. Even
Woo! She was on fire, on fire. I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. Folks, this it's Wednesday and it's time for Pop and Politics. We are talking about the latest in hot topics, news, and entertainment. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-host. Of course, we have Nicole Bennett.
Hey, y'all.
And Shelly E.
Hi.
All right. Before we dive in, as you guys are coming in, please hit that like button. It really helps to push our video out to a larger audience. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. We're here on YouTube and Rumble. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat. We shout out all of our super chats. It's the best way to get your voice heard in the conversation and to show your love for conservative content. And this is the last day of April, so we really appreciate your super chats today. All right, folks, this is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us and subscribe so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, ladies, let's set it off. So, Shelly, what did you think about her testimony there? Her name, I had it here.
Peyton, I think it's Peyton.
Right.
Peyton.
Right. Yes, you're right. Might be Peyton Jacks. I can't remember. You're right. But she was on fire, was she not?
Yeah, so when I first saw that, I was, just like, I guess, cheering her on from afar. But one thing I want to correct is she said, Lyndon B. Johnson didn't say get those Negroes voting for 200. He said get those niggas. That's what he said.
Hard R.
Off of that slight correction, right? But she's correct. She reminds me a little bit of Michaela Montgomery.
Yeah, she did.
So she does, but she reminds me also of many many used to be Democrats, now Republicans, now conservatives, myself included. When you start coming into learning and you really putting 2 and 2 together and you get 4, not 5. So these things she was saying, many of us have been there, been down that trajectory, learning and understanding what she was talking about. I applaud her. I forget where she's running for office, but she certainly has my support.
Yep, it's Peyton Jackson. She's out of she's in Texas, Fort Worth, right? Fort Worth. And before I get you in here, Nicole, we do have a super chatter, the first super chat of the night.
Tijuana.
Yes, Tijuana Border Jumper says, good evening, ladies and family patriots. Yes, indeed. So, Nicole, I was waiting to hear what you had to say about what she said. What do you think?
Listen, I thought she was on fire, and Shelley is right. When something is relatively new to you and you're starting to find out that what you were taught was wrong, but what you found out is absolutely right, and it fits into your life, it fits into your world scope, your worldview. She just let him have it. She could have went on for hours and hours on all the things. And what's interesting is she was spitting facts so hard and fast. We could have put a drum track to it. It would have been #1 on iTunes. She was killing the game, and I'm so proud of her. So it's one thing to be a conservative and discover that you're conservative. It's a whole nother thing to put your name on the ballot. That means a lot more, a little bit more of your personhood, a whole lot more of your wealth on the line. That's someone who is, yes, kind of looks like Michaela, but she speaks like Candace before she became popular. That's that fire in her voice, that grit. And I hope she wins whatever race she's running for.
Yes, absolutely. I want to ask you all, she did speak about, she called the Democrat Party godless. And she referenced, their uber support for trans children, taking pride in abortion, which she said was shedding innocent blood. And we've actually said that, I know I have, that it is a godless party. What do you think about that? Do you agree with that, Shelley, that it's a godless party?
Yeah, by and large, yes, the party, what it is now, certainly today, it was not always. Historically, at least, I would say in the 60s, maybe a little bit after, the Democratic Party many of them were church-going believers, Southerners, of course, things like that. Again, that was a time when people could honestly say, maybe we want the same thing, just different ways to get there. I can't say that today. I will not. When I hear Republicans say that, I say, whoa, put the stops on, put the brakes on. No. We do not want the same thing. We are totally different parties, if you will, different ideologies. Some people call it the uniparty in some aspects, but there are starkly different ideologies. Republicans, conservatives, by no means do we have it, quote unquote, together, if you will. But if you take the 80-20 rule, the Democrats are monopolizing the 80% worth of destruction, whereas the Republican conservatives are monopolizing and building on the 80% of building up life and liberty and the Constitution. Totally different ideologies.
Yeah, and Nicole, so if that's true, and many of us believe that, then why do so many so-called Christians still vote Democrat? Where's the disconnect there, and particularly in the Black community?
It's a Chinese menu, a little from column A, a little from column B. And if I can sleep at night, then that's the party I want to be. Most Black people consider themselves born Democrat. They don't go out and search for information. They don't go out and say, when you're 17 or 18, and say, well, I'm going to vote for the first time. Let me find out which each party is doing. Usually that first time voting is accompanied by your mother or your father, and they assist you in voting, right? They say, mark this. Our family is Democrat. We vote a straight Democrat ticket. That's what we do. And it never changes until your life changes. And one of those big changes in life, not just taxes taken out of your paycheck, not just taxes that you pay on sales that you buy, like clothes, food, haircuts, whatever, but when you actually have to sit down and write the IRS another check on top of that, it changes your view of this nation. It really does, because you start to think, My roads are crap. The kids are dumb. Where the hell's my money? It makes you turn on a switch that generally most people who vote blindly don't ever turn on. So you see this a lot with Christian people who vote Democrat, and they say, well, I can hold my nose and vote for them on the abortion, or, with the abortion issue off the table, because they do so much good on this other thing. And I'll just focus on that other thing. So it's very, very difficult for them. It doesn't have to match up point to point. If, they're pro, let's say, food stamps, Medicare, housing the homeless, if they think those are their core values, abortion may not be a big thing for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have a super chatter here. Rose Readings said, did you watch the finale of Netflix series You? No, I didn't. I actually watched like the first and second season of it. But then I fell off. It kind of got really out there and I stopped watching it. But I'm a huge fan of Penn Badgley. I think he's a great actor. So yeah, no, but I didn't see it. Are you all familiar with the series You?
No, okay. I'm always late catching up. So
yeah.
I'm super late.
Yeah. So I agree with you both. And speaking of Christian leftists, Christian Democrats, it brings us to Jamal Bryant. So Pastor Jamal Bryant, he is the pastor of New Birth in Atlanta, Georgia. Of course, we've spoken about him before on this channel. He is originally from Baltimore, Maryland, where we are from. We currently reside. And so we know him well. And he moved down to Atlanta, Georgia, and took over New Birth from Bishop Eddie Long when he passed. Well, he is big leftist, and he started some 40-day fast against Target recently. I think it may be almost 40 days in by now. Take a look at what he says about that. This is clip 1.
The 40-day fast of Target.
Yes. So people are asking, why did we pick Target when Walmart out of order, McDonald's is out of order, John Deere's out of order, Bank of America's out of order, Amazon is out of order. Right. Is we wanted to go, the African proverb says, if you want to eat an elephant, do one piece at a time. Mm-hmm. So we picked Target first for several reasons. Number one, Target is headquartered in the same city George Floyd was killed. Mm-hmm. When George Floyd was killed, Target came out, made an announcement that they're going to invest $2 billion in the black business. $2 billion, drum roll, and it starts December of 2025. Mm-hmm. When Trump made the announcement January of 2025, they dishonored that commitment. So we wanted to hold them accountable because when they made the pledge, it had nothing to do with DEI. Secondly, I am embarrassed, Breakfast Club, to say to you, Negroes spend $12 million a day in Target. Mm-hmm. And I don't know any black business that amasses that much money in any singular day.
Is it $12 million a day?
A day. Mm-hmm. Number 3, Target is on 27 college campuses and not one HBCU. Mm. Number 4, outside of the federal government, Target is the largest employer of black people. There are 400,000 black people on payroll and don't honor us. So if we're giving that kind of money, that much human capital, and to not honor us, I think is dismally disrespected.
All right. Let's get into this. He made a bunch of like really bizarre claims there. Yeah. So first off, Shelley, what does George Floyd have to do with preachers and Target? What I didn't get what he was trying, the connection there.
Let me tell you, KJ. George Floyd, in the connection with preachers like Jamal Bryant, what he does is gives them content and gives them a topic to speak about because they damn sure don't preach the gospel, okay? So George Floyd is the filler sermon, the filler God, if you will, the filler. Put in whatever blank you want. That's what it does. And it also allows Jamal Bryant to get this national publicity in the quote unquote black church or black sphere so that he can keep spewing all the lies, all of the corruption that he gets to spew, and he will get paid to do so.
Yeah. And Nicole, did you hear what he said about how Target employs a lot of Black people? I think he said 4,000 people. But yet he's, on the other hand, he's saying that Target is not supporting the Black community. So how's that jive?
Well, when he says it's not supporting the Black community, it's because he hasn't gotten a check. So let's be very clear. His Black community starts with him, and then it's like, trickle down economics. If anybody else gets a penny, it's because you were lucky and behind him when he cast a check. This, again, is straight up a money grab. His opening salvo was, they promised us a check. They promised us a check. Where's the money? Not, there's so many Black people who work here. Let's get them up in the upper level management. Let's sit down with Target and see what we can do to bring in more jobs into certain communities, and communities where Target has been closed because of theft in a lot of urban areas, or most things are behind plexiglass, all of that kind of thing. There's a million and one things that he can work on. But the very first thing he said, where's our check? Oh, and by the way, us boycotting Target, going on a fast, a 40-day fast from Target, works for you because you're sitting on a bunch of other people's tithes and offerings. But what about the people who buy their toilet paper from Target, get their food from Target, baby formula, all of that from Target? When these so-called preachers act like this, it shows you they have no heart for their community or anybody else's community. What about that 400,000 people that he claims work for Target? So we're going to boycott the place where 400,000 Black people work? S-Files was right. What is he thinking? You know what he's thinking? No peace until I get my check. That's precisely what he's thinking.
And then he calls this fast. He mixes in, somehow the spiritual realm, and he says, this aligns with this whole social justice type of issue, and it has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it at all.
These preachers like Jamal Bryant and others, they're basically this new civil rights movement. They're trying to recreate the Southern Justice Council with Martin Luther King and that whole church political, protest sphere, if you will. That's what he's trying to do, because Jamal Bryant has nothing else. How he lives off of all of these grifts, whether it's in the church, whether it's Target, wherever. Where in the Black community, whatever that may be representing for him, where do they benefit from the money that he gets? What organization collects those checks from Target and whomever else has promised them? Where? Show me where. What community has he built with those checks where he's giving back? But I bet you dimes to donut, he lives in a gated community, probably still drives his Bentley or more, probably has a mansion that some of us will only ever dream of. Again, where? Off of the people's back, because he has been grifting them for so long.
Right.
It's the big difference between that early civil rights movement and those leaders and these people who are so-called grifting, so-called pastors today, is the church actually used to help people then. Pastors led very mediocre, moderate lives. They weren't balling out because they made sure that people had bus fare so they could get back and forth to their job, because most people did not own a vehicle of their own. That families had food. If a man lost his job, they'd make sure that family had enough resources to keep the roof over their head, to keep the electricity on. That's what the Black church used to do, keep families together. Now, when you talk about, God rest his soul, Eddie Long, keeping folks together wasn't his strong. Let's just say that. When you think about what churches do today, especially mega churches who prey on innocent people, who preach a little bit of the word of God and a whole lot of foolishness, and they put on a good show. There's lights and there's stuff dangling from the ceiling and people cutting flips and whatnot. But what they're not getting are their needs met. Pastor gets in his Bentley with his wife in her designer clothes, and they drive off into their gated community while you're giving up 10, 20% of what you've earned that could help you feed your children, that could help you make a way out of no way, right? This is the sin in what he's doing. There are plenty of grifters on a lot of things, but this is what makes that sinful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we have talked about this before on here, how this, the number one institution that Marxists have infiltrated is the church. They have infiltrated the church in enormous ways, and particularly in leadership. And so they have infused this whole social justice, Black ideology, all throughout the church. Again, it almost seems as if instead of promoting family, traditional family, they've done the exact opposite and promoted all types of sexuality and single motherhood and things like that. And we shall know them by their fruits. And the fruit is not good. I mean, many of these churches sit in areas that are high crime. The family is destroyed, and education systems are full of sexuality and CRT and gender ideology and all that type of stuff. And so why is that? Because the leaders in these churches are Marxist infiltrators, and we're seeing the fruit of that in these communities. I mean, to me, you want to know the number one thing I have an issue with right now was Target. And not only Target, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens. When you're in communities that, and I gotta say it, that are Black, everything is locked up. You can't get deodorant, you can't get shampoo, you can't get face lotion, you can't get anything without being like Claritin, nothing. Everything is locked up. And it's not like that in other places. I was in Florida last summer. I was in New Hampshire the summer before that. You go in these places and it's not like that. But you go here in Baltimore, you go to any of the areas surrounding Baltimore,
Washington,
everything
D.C.
is locked up. Yeah. And it's annoying. It is annoying.
Yeah.
But they're doing that because you've seen these smash and grabs. Go ahead.
Yeah. One of the reasons I know Marxism has, like you said, hugely infiltrated the church. I guess I'm going to say particularly the Black church, if you will. One of the reasons why is when you read Marx's, I guess, writings, one of his most prominent sayings is that religion is the opiate of the people. So Marxism needs to attach itself to the thing that people are going to kind of just take on a faith, a deep-seated faith, a deep-seated belief. That way, if you replace that religion with Marxism becomes a pseudo-religion. So, I mean, it makes sense in that way. But again, the beautiful thing is that, like that lady Peyton and other people, you can come out of that.
Absolutely.
You can come out of that. It takes some work. It takes some, facing whatever yourself and all kinds of things. It takes some cognitive dissonance, all kinds of things, but you can come out of it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, folks. As you guys are coming in, please hit that like button. Your likes help to get this video out to a wider audience, and we want as many people as possible to see this content. So hit that like button and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Share this video in a DM on your timeline on social media, in a text. Definitely share, and subscribe. We are building a community of like-minded people, and it helps when you do that. We're all here together, and we can push back against the left. That's what we do here. So thank you so much. Yes. All right. So speaking of the left, we got to go to Michelle Obama. So
that's a mess.
Michelle Obama.
Such a mess.
Before we do, I want to acknowledge our super chatters here. Thank you guys so much. We got to give a hand for the producers. We got to do that. The producers here, they're the best guys. You guys see us in front of the cameras, but behind the cameras, we have some great people that assist us and keep us on track. So thank you for that. We have Robert Prescott, the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. John, thank you. Says,
hey John.
Hey John. All right. Yes, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate your super chats. Oh my gosh. It's the last day of the month. It's a great way if you guys want to support us to super chat. We really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And our Freedom Seekers Club. You guys, we love our Freedom Seekers. You can join the Freedom Seekers Club. You get special content. We do special emojis, all kinds of great ways to get together with people and thank you guys for being Freedom Seekers. And it's a great way to support. So yes, thank you so much. Join the Freedom Seekers Membership Club. That's also our merch. And Shelly E is wearing one of the t-shirts tonight. Talk about your shirt, Shelly.
Okay, this is the famous or infamous Bishop t-shirt. You can get it at poppinpoliticslive.com. It will be yours for the asking. Don't just go get it. This is the shirt that we made after that Butch bitch gave that fake sermon when President Trump was inaugurated, and she kind of castigated him in her sermon. Get the shirt, wear it, take a picture of it, snap it, send it to us, and we will thank you and give you a shout out on the show.
Absolutely.
All right. And gotta mention our other shows, folks. We're on the Metro Conservative Media platform, and we have brothers and sister shows. We have Just the Guys podcast. You can find them there here on YouTube at Just the Guys podcast. You guys gotta go to this podcast. They are so close to 1,000 subscribers. We want them to hit 1,000 subscribers by the weekend. Please go check them out and subscribe. We also have All American Talk. That's at All American Talk Show. Again, another conservative show here on YouTube. Great content. And then my show at KJ Christian Conservative. I have another YouTube channel where you can find me, and I just particularly stick to biblical content there from a conservative perspective. So that's at Just the Guys, that's All American Talk, and at KJ Christian Conservative. So you guys can we want to take over YouTube, right?
Sure. Listen, and I tell you, that Just the Guys show, if you guys are not watching, if you ladies are not watching this show is so entertaining. I was a couple of Saturdays ago, I was in the line to get crabs, and I had it on my cell phone. There were people looking over my shoulder going, what did he just say? Talking about CT. I said, you can't pay attention to CT. CT's always on one. But everybody just kind of gathered around, and that's the way that we keep conservative voices to the front. Share it with your friends. There are a lot of hot takes that come off that show, and it is incredibly entertaining. So definitely log in on Saturdays and catch them. They are absolutely worth the watch.
Absolutely. And we have another super chat here, folks. Thank you guys so much. Trey just had a birthday.
Hey, Trey.
City. She says, because it's the end of the month and you queens look amazing tonight and the beautiful colors.
Thank you. KJ and Nicole are wearing the pink tonight.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So back to Michelle Obama, folks. So seriously. Michelle Obama has started a podcast or a YouTube channel, and it is one of the most boring shows. I never knew she was so monotone. She was so Eeyore-ish. I said this the other night. She reminds me of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. She just, I don't know.
Eeyore has more personality than that. Yes. Don't do that to Eeyore. Don't do that, KJ.
She's so dark. Not complexion. I mean, just her view.
Her worldview is so skewed. It's like you want to tell her to go out and do something that makes her happy because she seems so unhappy in her core. Like she radiates unhappiness. So it's got to be hard to be a guest on that show. You come in all fired up. Let's go. And she's like, please take your seats, Black American.
Yeah.
You're standing like, girl, what? I just want to give her like a Red Bull or something. Just lift her up.
It's really bad. She looks and sounds miserable. Exactly. And for some of one of the most wealthy women in the country, ex-first lady, you would think this woman would be on cloud nine. but she is not. And here she is. Okay. She was on a podcast called On Purpose with Jay Shetty. He's a nice looking man. I mean, I watch for him. And she states she's afraid for Black Americans. Let's take a look. This is clip 2.
Very early on that no one was going to see beyond the color of our skin at an early age. And that could get you in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about that fear, I'm sure that fear has been tested across your life in so many different places. And I wonder, what would you say has been the most hardest recent test of that fear? Because it's not one of those fears that you kind of get over and it just goes away. It kind of shows its head in many different ways, I imagine.
Well, in this current climate for me, it's, what's happening to immigrants, so it's not the fear for myself anymore. I drive around in a 4-car motorcade with a police escort. I'm Michelle Obama. I do still worry about my daughters in the world, even though they are somewhat recognizable. So my fears are for what I know is happening out there in streets all over the city. And now that we have leadership that is sort of indiscriminately determining who belongs and who doesn't, and we know that those decisions aren't being made with courts and with due process, and, that it's being made like this cop that pulled my brother over when he was 12. You don't look like somebody that belongs. I can determine just by looking at you that you're a good person or you're not a good person. And knowing that there's so much bias and so much racism and so much ignorance that fuels those kind of choices, I worry for people of color all over this country. And I don't know that we will have the advocates to protect everybody. And that frightens me. It keeps me up at night.
Is that what you know? That exchange that she gave was all over the place. All over the place. Shelley, what did you think about that?
I am looking for the nearest, what'd you say, Rite Aid, CVS? I'm looking for the nearest one so I can buy me a pack of razor blades and slit my own damn wrist. I mean, that's what she makes you want to do. Listen to her. If I were a psych patient, I would slit my own wrist just to let out the stress and the pain and all the distress that she puts me through. Number one. Number two, Michelle Obama is not staying awake for any illegal immigrants. She's not staying awake for any damn Americans. Michelle Obama could give 2 fucks. Okay, she really could. She could give 2 flying fucks about any of those issues. What she's doing is she's trying to make herself look as if she can connect and commiserate, if you will, and identify with the American people and the struggle. There's always a struggle with her. Everything is a struggle. Living in Martha's Vineyards is not enough. Being in a 4-car motorcade with 24/7 protection is not enough. Having millions, almost probably $1 billion, being married to the first Black president, I mean, that's not enough. She's just a miserable woman. That's it. 24/7.
Yeah. And Nicole, what is she talking about? First, I hate the way these Democrats, when they talk about illegal immigration, they never put illegal in front. What President Trump is focusing on. They always just say immigration. And what does Black people got to do with illegal immigration?
Not a thing. Let me tell you one thing. Michelle Obama didn't give a fat rat about illegal immigration when her husband deported more than 3 million people and nobody had nothing to say. There wasn't an eyebrow raised or an article written. It was within his presidential powers, right? One of the interesting things she said is, I have a 4-car motorcade. I am Michelle Obama. Okay, we're watching your podcast. Tell us something you don't know. I'm sure she's got producer's notes that told her she has to talk about something that kind of zhuzhes people up. Well, when they pulled my brother over when he was 12, they made him feel some kind of way. You mean the brother that's damn near 60 sitting next to you? Is that how far back we're going? this podcast is a horrible idea for her. She does not have the personality to carry it off. She doesn't, and I hate to say it, have any kind of fashion sense. I don't know who's dressing her, but they're doing a horrible, horrible job. This is not the best idea. If she wants to connect with people, perhaps writing a column. I'm sure there's plenty of liberal newspapers and magazines that will give her something where somebody can inject some color and life into this. She is so elitist, so globally elitist. She is the prototype of what they want womanhood to look like. Barely woman, definitely not interesting, 100% flat, with no thoughts of your own. No thoughts of your own. She's like a Stepford wife, 2025 edition.
Yeah. Yeah. You hit the nail on the head, Nicole. The nail on the head. You are exactly right. And I want to get to you guys the super chats. Before I do, we got to just get some data in here because she is trying to say that Black folk are being deported. I mean, she basically said that because of President Trump. She has never been more afraid for the Black people than she is now. Well, we were really bad under President Obama's presidency. Black unemployment was at 16.8%. Under Trump, it fell to 5.4%. Wage growth was slow under President Obama's tenure. We had inflation. They rose under President Trump. Let me see here, poverty rate. So Obama, the Black poverty rate decreased from 25.8 to in 2010 to 2020 to 22% in 2016. Under Trump, he got it down to 18.8%. Home ownership was up under Trump. I mean, there's so many things where Black folks fared incredibly well under President Trump versus under Obama. And so I don't know what she's talking about. We were faring very well when President Trump was in office.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, KJ. Remember when she first came on the scene, she gave that speech that this was the first time in her life that she was proud to be an American or happy about the country. Michelle is miserable. Just remove the shall part. Oh my God, my namesake. Remove that part, keep the MI, and add the rest of the word miserable. That's what she is. She is miserable. She is walking misery. And you're right, Nicole. They do want women, if you will, to be like her. Why? What? She doesn't even stand on her own merits as an attorney, right? She never, props up herself, if you will, in her own right, legal right. What did she do? Because she was given a cushy job. She was married to, at that time, as a senator. What did she do? I mean, hell, she has 2 daughters, beautiful daughters. She raised 2, but she's miserable. She's miserable. And this is unfortunate because if they want women to look like this, Houston, we got some big problems.
Hard pass. Hard pass. First of all, I don't want those, middle school braids. Let's go there. And it makes me, when she had the little soul twist on top of her head, I was like, what is going on? Like,
what is going on?
Is there like a 14-year-old behind the scene making this happen for you? You're a grown woman, former first lady of the United States of America. I'm not saying every day she's got to have Chanel on, but if she reached out to Chanel, I'm sure they'd send her a closet full of damn suits to wear. At some point, she's got to find her own identity. And I don't think she's capable at this point. I just really don't. Yeah, I mean, when her brother is out dressing her on every episode, come on.
I know.
Come on.
It's sad. You are absolutely right. It is really sad what she has turned into and the way she hates America. Oh my gosh. The America that voted them in twice, not once, twice, overwhelmingly. She hates America. She hates it. The America that has gotten them rich. For as much as they talk about President Trump, he is the only president that has gone in with more money and came out with less.
The
Obamas are multimillionaires, probably billionaires, on their way to be billionaires.
Net worth is over $1 billion.
Yeah, they weren't like that when they first got into office.
Not at all.
The country has made them rich. And they give us their ass to kiss.
And that's the killer part. They have benefited from every single privilege this nation has to offer, and it's still not enough. That's that globalist mentality. You know, they're not going to be happy until we have one world order. They're not going to be happy until every single woman is almost like a man and every single man is almost like a woman. And there are no boundaries. There are no sovereign nations. We're just one big old glob of people who are waiting for the world government to tell us what to do, when to do, how to do it. She's got a fight coming if they think that's what Americans are going to do. She's got a big fight coming.
I will take out Big Mike.
Oh, gosh. Here she goes again. And another thing here is, again, with the comparison to President Trump, at least he's created stuff. President Trump was a businessman.
Absolutely.
He's built beautiful buildings all over the country. The Obamas have not created anything. They have not employed anyone really, or created jobs. They have enriched themselves off of the government tip from just being in the White House. They came out billionaires. So I don't understand it. I really don't. I want to hear what you guys think. Let's see what the super chats say. Folks, thank you guys so much. All right, let's see here. We have Jackie.
Thank you. That is so kind. Thank you.
Join the Freedom Seekers. Thank you so much, Jackie. All right, and we have Ms. Jennifer with a $10 super chat.
Thank you.
She says, hello from Washington State. How are you doing over there? She says, love your show. You all are a huge blessing to my evenings, especially when I catch you live. Just love you all. Oh, thank you so much. I haven't been to the Pacific Northwest yet, but I was invited to go. I wouldn't mind, going,
It's wet.
Yeah, wet and rainy.
Oh, it's beautiful though.
Yeah, in the summer.
In the summer, it's very green.
Yeah,
it's the most beautiful green place you'll ever see. Yeah.
All right, Laura with the $2 super chat. Big Mike. I know people still calling. She's making herself look like a Mike now.
I'm not arguing the point anymore. I'm not even arguing.
No, she was. As much as we talk about her, I thought she was pretty in the White House.
Somebody else was dressing her. Whoever was styling her in the White House.
Yeah, she looks a mess now. Havoc Master with a $5 super chat says she is a poor, downtrodden woman from Martha's Vineyard. I know.
Exactly.
That's how she acts.
Poor old thing.
Roberto with the $20 super chat says, first time I get to watch you ladies live. Love seeing smart ladies not being afraid of speaking up. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. We do. These super chats go a long way in helping us produce conservative content. Thank you so much. All right. So I'm going to change gears a little bit and take it to the colleges. So Kristen, I believe her name is, Kristen from Students for Life, was at a college campus. And as you guys know, she goes around and talking about pro-life issues. She takes on leftists and pro-abortion people and debating them over issues of pro-life versus pro-choice and things like that. She's a she does a great job. Well, here she is debating this nut. This woman was a nut over abortions. Take a look. This is clip 4.
To this day, right now, Planned Parenthood actually helps the Black community just in regards to helping us not be overpopulated, right? The Black community is overpopulated, it is.
There have been 20 million Black children aborted since 1973. Do you think that's a good or bad thing?
So the Black community is still overpopulated because of our government. It is. Gang relations.
The Black community is below replacement rate.
Stop talking so I can finish.
You just said that there are too many Black people. How can you say that?
So I didn't say that. And don't clip on me either. I didn't say that. Don't clip on. I didn't say that. Don't clip on. I didn't say that. Don't clip on.
You just said.
I didn't say that. Don't clip on.
No, you didn't.
Don't say that. I didn't say that. As a Black person, I didn't say that. So don't misinterpret what I said.
You said Planned Parenthood's helping you because the Black population is too overpopulated.
Is that what I said?
That is eugenics statement, ma'am.
Is that what you believe? Is that what you believe I said? Is that what y'all believe I said?
Is
that what I said? Is that what I said?
Did you?
Is that what I said?
Yes or no? Did you say the Black population is too overpopulated?
The Black community is overpopulated. Yes, it is.
Statistically,
Like your narrative.
African Americans are below replacement rates.
Let me tell you. Hold on.
There are more abortions happening than live births.
Hold on.
I just tried to bring in science.
You need to understand. No, you need to understand something, right?
They don't care about black babies. They don't care.
How would you know that, ma'am?
Pro-abortion is by in itself theoretically against the black community. Point blank. Period.
Pro-life?
Point blank. Period.
No.
Point blank. Period.
How many pregnancy centers does the pro-life movement operate?
I don't know. I don't give a fuck.
More than 2,500. How many maternity homes does the pro-life movement operate?
How many kids are on the foster care system?
More than
How many kids are
400.
still being ruined by bad parents? By the fact that a Republican Party cannot consistently take care of them? How many of these kids are consistently still not being taken care of? Yes, you mean to tell me? Yes, you
Ma'am,
mean to
you tell
me
Excuse me,
that I
that's
should
my
continue?
mic. Give me back my mic.
Yes, you mean to tell me that I should continuously keep on?
You are a eugenicist, ma'am, against your own race, and
Say it
that is
again.
horrific.
Say it again.
You are a
Say it
eugenicist.
louder.
You are a eugenicist, and that is horrific to hear you
As a
say that.
black woman.
Wow. Students for Life is doing great work. They are doing great work. All right, let's get into this. Before we do, want to acknowledge our super chatter here. All right, we have Fall with the $2 super chat says Obama equals TD Jakes. Oh, what is it?
Fatal.
Fatal. Oh, fatal. Fatal. Oh, I see it. Okay, I see. Obama equals TD Jakes, rich from selling books. Yep, you're right. You're right. You're right. Where do these people come from? Shelley, who is talking to this thing? Who is talking here?
The school, wherever.
Who is feeding this nonsense?
The schools, wherever she's attending, that college, wherever she's going to, maybe some of the media. But interestingly enough, even in the 60s, Black Panthers would not even agree with her. They wouldn't agree with her. As much as they may have been radical or, any other adjective, they wouldn't agree with her. During the civil rights marches, I don't find any time in Black history where any, I'm going to say, legitimate mainstream Black people would agree with her at all. Just even if they were not Christian, even if they were not advocating religion, most Black people say Black children need to be born, or have them, or most people in a large sense. Yes, there are women who will have abortions, but the mindset, generally speaking, in the Black community has been more Black babies, right? Mm-hmm. She's warped. And she thinks she's educated, and she probably is educated in the school where, again, wherever she's going to. This is what has come to be called education and intellect. I don't even think that she understands what she's saying. And if you really break it down to her, I don't think she does. And I'm not excusing her ignorance. She really believes that she is preaching something profound. Yeah. That's what she's been taught.
Yeah. We have a super chatter here. Roberto Hernandez with the $10 super chat says, what time are you guys live? I'm in California. Okay. Yep. On Wednesdays, Roberto, we are live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. So
it would be like 5 LA time.
Yeah.
5 California time.
5 Thank you, Nicole. 5 California time. Yep. So, Nicole, I actually forgot I was going to ask you. I forgot I was going to ask you. What do you think? What do you think about her?
So, a couple of things. One, it just makes me want to cry. It really does. It makes me want to cry, right? Because with so much confidence, with so much zeal, she's spewing all of the wrong things, all of it. Planned Parenthood was never designed to be assistance to the Black community. It was designed to eliminate us flat out. Make no mistake. There's no question about it. It's not even debated. They won't even debate the Margaret Sanger point, right? Mm-hmm. Now, we all live here in Maryland, and I'm in Potomac and Chevy Chase and nice places quite often. No Planned Parenthood. But North Howard Street, Baltimore, where you see Black communities, Washington, D.C., you see abortion ABs, handed out like Pez. And it's not a little tiny place. It's a huge place. Planned Parenthood headquarters here in Maryland is on North Howard in Baltimore. That's their headquarters. That's where they bring you in to train you, indoctrinate you, and send you out with their message. This poor girl has so many wrong talking points. She must watch a lot of TikTok. I don't know. But she was so confused and had no grasp of the English language. At one point, she said that the pro-abortion people were the best thing or the worst thing that ever happened to the Black community. Right. And you're right. Pro-abortion has been the worst thing that's ever happened to our community. But you're not listening to yourselves. Right. If I can offer any advice, is take that energy and that zeal and do the homework. Don't believe what other people tell you. Research it for yourself. The same computer you use to watch somebody's foolish TikTok to make you believe this dumb stuff is the same TikTok that you or computer you can use to look up the actual information. Be educated. Just don't go to school because you stay there long enough, they'll give you a degree. But learn something while you're there. And most assuredly, don't debate people when you don't know the facts. When you don't know the facts. This woman's trying to help you. Again, we talked about people trying to help and people getting fired up about it. And she's talking about, well, don't click farm me. Nobody's trying to farm you. You should be ashamed when they released a video. Somewhere you should be like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I wish I could get you guys.
No, she's not embarrassed. No. And she doesn't care. And she automatically looks at Kristen as an enemy because she's white.
She's white, absolutely.
She don't want to hear anything. She didn't hear anything positive. And Kristen is trying to advocate for Black babies.
Absolutely.
And she's trying to say we don't need any more. I mean, where did these people come from? And just like you said, Shelley, my mom was born in 56. And she was a 60s, brought up in the 60s. She was a rebel rouser. She was, one of those ones that was, where she lived when she was coming up was segregated, and they desegregated the school. And she actually went to school with Montel Williams, the
talk show host.
Right, talk show host, and so but she was a liberal, she was a liberal, but she never advocated for abortion. It's just like it's a different kind of leftist liberal these days. Like you said, she was all about Black power and all that kind of stuff, right. At least back in the day. Right. But she wasn't like that. She didn't advocate for abortion. She wasn't for all this. Well, now the transgenderism is coming out, but she still took pride in doing it on your own. It wasn't about government handouts and all that type of stuff. I mean, she thought care for the poor and all that. Right. But if you had the strength and ability to work, you work.
Exactly.
But these people are just nuts now.
I wish Kristen had asked her, if the Black community or Black people are overpopulated, then you should be okay with Black people murdering each other. I wish she had asked her something like
Bring
that.
Back the purge.
Yeah, let her think about it. I would have loved to have heard or seen her reaction. You should be okay with Black people murdering each other because, hey, that is certainly depopulating the Black community.
Yeah.
It's a shame that, I don't even know where she got that talking point from that we're overpopulated, because Kristen told her the truth. That white people and Black people are not having enough children to keep our numbers. We're just not, right? And that begs a whole different argument where are women prioritizing career over family, or do they feel like they can't have it all? I mean, there's a lot of conversations to go into that. But the one conversation we can't have starts off with Black population is overcrowded. Where? Pick a place. Where? Show me one place where there are too many Black folk as a part of a greater whole of the American population. There is none. There is none.
Yeah. But they continue to push this nonsense and this is the result we get. This is why President Trump is trying to, defund the Department of Education and so on and so forth, because they have been used to disseminate this type of rhetoric across the country and mandate that these schools teach this crap. And what has happened is we've seen an enormous amount of trans kids. This brings us to the next topic, Robert De Niro. So you guys know Robert De Niro just recently, over the last couple of years, have become probably poster child for the nutty left. Actually, nutty leftist men, which is really sad because he was, I was a great fan of his as far as his movies are concerned, but now I can't even watch it. It doesn't even feel the same the way he performed all throughout these last couple of years. So it's not really a shock now that his son has come out trans. Take a look here. This is clip 3.
Robert De Niro's daughter has come out as trans. In an exclusive interview with Them magazine, Erin De Niro opened up about navigating her transition journey and her identity. She said, trans women being honest and open, especially in public spaces, helped her realize, maybe it's not too late for me. A few media publications commented on Erin's transformation after she was snapped by paparazzi last month, wearing heels and long pink locks, calling her look rebellious and barely recognizable. Commenting on this, the 29-year-old tells them, not only did they get information wrong about me, they just sort of reminded me that people really don't know anything about me. She shared how her childhood experiences affected and shaped her into the woman she is today. She says that she was ridiculed and excluded by her peers for being feminine, bigger-bodied, and different in ways she could not yet describe. As the child of Robert De Niro and Tukey Smith, Erin also shared how growing up biracial further complicated her search for belonging, although her parents were supportive of her queerness. Erin adds that she came out as a gay man in high school, but faced ridicule for not fitting the mainstream beauty standard: white, thin, muscular, and masculine. Her influences include black women such as Laverne Cox, Marsha P. Johnson, Jules LeBron, Michaela J. Rodriguez, Naomi Campbell, and Raven Simone. The aspiring model and actor has established a signature look: pink locks and pink dresses or tops. I think a big part of my transition is also the influence black women have had on me, she added in her interview with Them. Erin shares that she has predominantly been kept out of the limelight, but is keen to share her story and be seen, particularly in the wake of Trump's executive orders affecting the trans community. She wants queer people of color and bigger-bodied people to have an Alex Consani and a Hunter Schafer.
Okay, so first off, she didn't name any women. The only women that they named were Raven Simone and Naomi Campbell. Right. All other ones were men. Okay. So this is another one bites the dust. So Nicole, what's going on here? Now part of the expose, they said that he was gay in high school. Why are we seeing them go beyond that? Why are we seeing them, whatever you think about LGB, why are we seeing more and more and more of them go on to the T? What's going on?
Because the gay didn't get him enough attention, right? Mm-hmm. He says that very clearly, that, people weren't paying attention to me. And the people who did pay attention to me gave me the wrong kind of attention. And she had this big pink coming out that set herself apart from all the other transitioning transgender people. She wants the limelight. I mean, with a father like Robert De Niro, I could see where she would think that name would come in pretty handy. Now, granted, she wasn't born attractive in a traditional male kind of sense, according to his or her own words. Robert De Niro is a great actor. I'm gonna skip on the rest of his movies, though. Anything else he's got to do, I'm not putting any money on it. But this is just this child, this young man, young woman, this young person looking for more attention. And it's sad and it's disheartening, because the decisions that you make now are going to have an everlasting impact on the rest of your life. And there's nothing you can do to go back to the person that you were before you started the hormones, before you had the surgeries. This is a life-altering decision at such a young age. It's just heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. But I hope he or she gets the attention that he or she is looking for.
Yeah, it's sad. Here he is at in a photo before the transition. We've had photo 1. This is him with the Saturday Night Live hoodie on to your left, with the hat on. I mean, just a regular teenage boy.
Look like a kid.
Yeah,
like a kid.
Young man.
Yeah. And now he's transitioned. Shelly, what are your thoughts on this?
I think there is derangement in that household. Number one. It's sad. It's sad. A lot of these Hollywood children and siblings or whatever, they're all coming out. I mean, someone said it. I think it is something in the water, and I also think that many of their parents, they get some kind of quick feeling or thrill because they are now vicariously associated with their children who come out, and this brings more celebrity, more attention. Not the right kind, certainly not the help that they need, but I do believe that some of their parents are parading around because it still brings them some more attention in their later years where they're no longer vibrant or they're no longer the money makers, the top money makers in their field. Again, I think there's a money aspect to it. Socially, there's something wrong in Hollywood. I've said it before. We've all said it. Keep your children out of Hollywood. If you can, by all means, keep them out of Hollywood. Certainly as young children, maybe as adults, when many times that might be too late because they like to groom them when they're younger. So what? You're going to miss a whole lot of opportunities in life, and that may be one that you will be proud to have missed. Keep them out of Hollywood if you can.
It seems like these transgender children are the new, like I said, Chihuahua in the handbag. It is just, it seems like such a phenomenon that this is happening so very quickly to these celebrity children versus what's happening across the nation. But, you know, it's startling that these parents who have the means to get their children the help that they need opt not to. Oh, it's like a badge of honor.
They get glory.
Yeah, it's like a badge of honor.
They get glory from it too.
Right. Like a badge of honor.
Right. But, you know, some people say that this is what parents should do. They should encourage and affirm their child to come out trans. And speaking of that, takes us back to Michelle Obama. So in a recent interview on her Stale podcast, she was interviewing actor and comedian Marlon Wayans about parenting a transgender child. Take a look at what they had to say. This is clip 7.
Well, speaking of parenting, I wanted to talk, Marlon, a bit about, you know, just so proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender.
Absolutely.
And that's, you know, that warms my heart, particularly as a Black man. You know, would you care to share that journey of?
Well, I learned and their transition really taught me what real unconditional love was.
Yep.
When they went through the transition, I actually went through the transition.
Yep.
I went from denial to complete acceptance. And it took me a week to get there, you know, and what I've learned as a parent is for you to stop loving your child because of their choice in their life, that's a poor reflection on you. You know what I mean? When there's people that go, I'm not going to associate with you because you do that, or this is against God, and this, it's like, listen, I am not here to judge. I am not God. Only God can judge. And I say this, you know.
All right. So first off, Nicole, you heard what Michelle says. This man, because he is a Black man and he is affirming his trans child, he is a role model. What is your thoughts on that?
Foolishness. But shout out to whoever wrote those lines for Michelle, who forgot to put the comma or the semicolon in, because it sounds like she said, as a Black man for herself.
Right.
Not in reference to Marlon. So shout out to the people in the chat who heard it like I heard it.
Right.
But I will say, loving your child no matter what is very much parenting goals. Right. Sometimes kids make decisions that we don't like. Sometimes they put themselves in harm's way. No one's saying don't love your child. What I'm saying is love your child, not through it. Love your child over it. You were born a girl. Let's get you some therapy to see what issues you're having. that make you think that you're something else trapped inside the butt, because God doesn't make those kind of mistakes. That's not the God we serve. That's not the God we know. So let's sit down and talk about it. Not let me run out and buy you a new wardrobe in the opposite sex. At some point, the parent has got to stop thinking about, well, if I don't do this for my child, they're not going to like me, and stand up and be a parent. Second point I want to make, only Michelle Obama, only Michelle can have one of the funniest men on the planet on her podcast. He still be dull as hell.
And you still want to slit your wrist.
Right.
I still want to slit my wrist.
Yeah.
Just the sound of her voice. It's like,
no, it was worse. It was worse than the first clip.
Oh my God.
It was. It really was. It really was.
Yeah. So, Shelly, what I want to ask you is about what he said about the unconditional love. And she went on in that episode to talk about how, this is the Christian thing to do. And a lot of times the left say that we as conservatives are too harsh, or, judgmental, or, not mean when it comes to this trans agenda. We need to be nicer. We need to be more affirming. We need to, act out in love. What is that? What unconditional love is, or what would it look like? What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it's not unconditional. That's not what unconditional love is. Number one. Number two, I personally don't believe that as a human being, that we really do give unconditional love. That to me, that's what God does. God can do it. How he does it, I don't know, but I don't believe that humans are even able to do that. Number two. Number three, I have told my daughter, growing up through her teenage years, I know all this stuff is out here in the universe, in the world, that if she ever decided, not that she was thinking about it, but this is a conversation I've had with her. If she ever decided that she wanted to be a he and rename herself, mommy is not going along with it. No, I'm not. I gave birth to a daughter, a female, and that is what she will be called by me. That's what she will always be. And if she needs me to hang the birth certificate over every edifice in the house or whatever, that's what I'll do. She knows it. She knows it. I will do it in public. I will do it in the house. She knows it. She knows her mommy is not going to buy into that bullshit. That's number
Absolutely.
one. I will also offer to get her some help. So all of that, that's not even what this issue is. And how many children does he have that's trans? Because he said they. I'm confused.
I think he has two. I think he has
both
two.
of them are trans?
No, he was saying they, because I think the trans is not he or she.
See, so Marlon and all this comedian stuff. See, this is not parenting, okay? Again, I believe that all parents, I'll say good parents, all parents will always love their children, okay? Many people have children in jail. They still love them, but they do not condone and support what they have done to earn the right to be behind bars, okay? I told my daughter that too. If she committed a heinous crime, short of defending herself, or if she committed a heinous crime, do not look for me to come to prison to visit you. First of all, mommy don't want to be in no damn prison as a visitor, even, whatever. No. And so don't look at me. I will talk to you maybe, but you can't call me collect. So you better get somebody else to send you money on your commissary card so you can call me, because I'm not paying for you to be collect when you have committed a heinous crime. Not going to happen. So again, call it conditional love. No, I'll still love my child. I'll love a lot of children, but I'm not going to put up and be in their delusion with them. If I know you, that's how you were born. My friends, if you have children who were born as a boy or girl, and if you want to say, oh, well, Johnny's a she now, or she's a he, and, Shelly, I need you to call my child this. No, I'm not. And then if we kids can't be friends, then we just can't be friends.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Love is telling the truth. And that is one thing that has been totally dropped out of the equation. Love is honesty. It is telling the truth It is not being, going along with someone's delusion that in the end, it hurts them. And we've seen this as far as the detransitioners, as far as these children that, it doesn't cure anything. It doesn't stop their suicidal ideation. It doesn't. Many of them do not get better. And so, yeah, I agree. I would not affirm. I would not. I know my heart would be broken. My heart would be broken. Okay. But I wouldn't do it either. Not only just about it being dishonest and about it just being against my religion and things like that, but all the birth pains, all the labor, all the child rearing that women and, as far as, men, as far as caring and things like that, you go through with these children. And for then you to tell me, the person that I gave birth to, that you are no longer that boy or you are no longer that girl, you must be crazy. You must be crazy. I wouldn't even expect you to ask me to change.
Thank you.
You tell your partner and your friends,
exactly.
Don't even approach her. Don't even ask her. She's not going to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. She just,
I've had these conversations. My daughter knows me very well, and she knows that. That's what she. Nope, don't even go there with my mother because she's not gonna. So if we go to my mom's house, I'm just gonna be who I am. Yeah, and you're gonna be who you are. Because my mom is not going to put up with it. Not going to go along with it.
Not at all. Right. Not buying into that delusion with you. And that's really what the agenda is. It's to force everyone else to participate. When the world was going crazy with the pronouns on the bottom of the email and your signature block and all this, and we had Zoom meetings and they wanted you to announce your pronouns and that kind of thing. And I'm like, no, I don't want to announce my pronouns. Use your eyes. Do I look like a woman? You can call me a woman. Right? Let's do that. But it's a part of easing it into our everyday to make it normal. To normalize this kind of degeneracy is just ridiculous.
Exactly. All right, folks. Thank you guys so much. Please hit that like button if you're just entering the live tonight. This is our Wednesday night live. We are here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Hit that like button. It really helps to get our video out to a wider audience. And we want as many people as possible to see this. This is the last live of April, actually. We're moving into May. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? Is it tomorrow? It's May 1st. Oh my goodness. Tomorrow. So yeah, April came and went. But with that, we are at President Trump's first 100 days. We are here. Wow, it has been a really fast, whirlwind of 100 days. And they actually had a press conference today at the White House, a huge press conference with his full cabinet there. And they were exposing some things. One of them is something that the Biden administration did, or they found out they did after he left office. This is clip 6. Take a look. Oh, do we have clip 6?
Something else we got out of the business of, wasn't widely reported, or maybe it was. We had an office in the Department of State whose job it was to censor Americans. Yeah. And by the way, I'm not going to say who it is. I'll leave it up to them. There's at least one person at this table today who had a dossier in that building of social media posts to identify them as purveyors of disinformation. We have these dossiers. We are going to be turning those over to these individuals.
Me or Elon? We can follow up with the media.
Well, we are going to turn over these dossiers to the individuals, and they'll decide whether they want to disclose it or not. But just think about it. The Department of State of the United States had set up an office to monitor the social media posts and commentary of American citizens to identify them as vectors of disinformation, when we know that the best way to combat disinformation is freedom of speech and transparency. And so that's what we're going to be in the business of doing. We're not going to have an office that does that.
Wow. Can you believe that, Shelley? Yes. They're monitoring our speech, our content, and keeping dossiers on it. This is crazy.
I don't know why this. I thought, number one, this story is old. When I heard Marco Rubio talk about it, this was came out a couple of years ago. But even beyond that, doesn't surprise me at all, because at least since The Enemy of the State came out, I've always assumed that we all been watched, from the NSA, the CIA, anybody else, and not even just in the movies. We have some history that supports that Americans have been under surveillance, if you will. We certainly learned during the scamdemic that many people, websites or YouTube platforms were censored or blocked or whatever. We all know this. Mark Zuckerberg was in on it with the government. He came out last year talking to Joe Rogan. This is not new. The transparency or the lack thereof is nothing new. Americans, by and large, particularly when you go against whatever the government is or whatever administration that's being represented at that time, there's a file cap. As a matter of fact, Barack Obama did it under his administration when he went after some Christians or conservative protesters. I can't think of the whole case, but they fought back. They sued. This is not new to me.
Yeah. Nicole, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, it's definitely not new. I mean, we know that we're censored, we're being watched. There are people who I know that are very strong opinions, conservative people who, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maxed out 5,000 friends on Facebook, but they only get 1 or 2 likes per post. So yeah, they're definitely being throttled on socials. There are people who know that they have been, quote unquote, blackballed by their own government. They apply for jobs they're absolutely qualified for, don't get a call back, but if they get called in, they don't ask about their resume or work experience. They ask them about these other things that they've been doing. So this is not new. The United States government has always kept an eye on us, for some good and probably mostly for the bad. But we should not be surprised. We should not be surprised that the Biden administration was doing what we know, presidential administrations do. You keep an eye on the opposition. The ones that are a little bit too spicy get dealt with. I don't want to point out people who've been unalived, but there are some people who paid for this with their lives. Absolutely paid for this with their lives.
Yeah, it is a shame. It really is that we have gotten to this point in time, in the United States, where your speech is just being regulated and watched. And this makes me all the more happy that President Trump won and he's in office. And I can't, this is the first 100 days. I can't wait till we get to 1,000 days. Because and see where we are. I mean, he's done so much. And Nicole, what is the next thing you're really anticipating?
Well, I'm really looking forward to, and this is going to sound crazy, but the fight over birthright citizenship. That is going to be an epic battle to the death. This is where you're going to have constitutionalists. I expect to see Mike Lee at the front of that conversation, Ted Cruz. These are men who are huge on the Constitution. And then you're going to have the uber liberal loonies who say, well, this is what we've always done. Why would we want to change now? Why do we want to change now? So this is going to be an epic battle, and it is going to shape our nation and how we look at immigration. I know there are other countries around the world that stop pregnant women if you're beyond a certain age in your pregnancy. They won't let you into their nation because they don't want you having that baby in their nation. So it's not unheard of, but it is going to make us clarify very clearly what the Constitution says and not lean into our own understanding. So I'm looking forward to that fight. It's going to be interesting.
You're right, Nicole. And can't get much more America first than that, huh? I mean, that would be the epitome of America first. Shelley, what are you looking forward to over these next several years with President Trump?
The up and coming is this the tax cut to make them permanent, the 2017 tax cuts, or I'm looking to see what our Congress is going to do with that. I don't think it's not President Trump. I'm waiting to see what our Congress is going to do, how they're going to hem and haw, or keep running around the roses on their tiptoes and just not being truthful, transparent, adamant, purposeful, and say, you know what, Americans, cut the taxes, give them the permanent tax breaks, make all this simplification, cut the regulations, and let's keep going. I'm looking for, particularly the Republicans, because we have the House and the Senate. I want to see what we're going to do. Or we're going to keep kowtowing, playing bat and ball or a game of jacks with like children on a playground and just can't get it together.
Agreed.
Yeah. You're right. And you actually also have forewarned about this tug of war we're seeing between President Biden, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. And so I really, I think it's gonna. I'm looking forward. I don't know if I'm looking forward to, but I'm waiting to see this actually come to head. Just out today, a Biden-appointed judge blocked Border Patrol from arresting suspected illegal aliens without warrants. So now, if you're a legal alien, you can't get arrested. This is a district court judge, Jennifer Thurston. Of course, she was appointed by President Biden. She got a preliminary injunction that prevented Border Patrol agents in California's Eastern District, that's the largest judicial district in the state, from carrying out arrests of suspected illegal aliens without a warrant and halting such arrests unless agents have a reasonable suspicion the suspect is an illegal alien. So it's really bizarre, and they've been butting heads on this stuff, the executive branch and the judicial branch. This thing is going to boil over before we know it.
I mean, we made some bad decisions early on. Right after President Trump was elected in November, there was a deal cut to fast track all of these Biden district judge appointments, which was a mistake of the highest order. Do we now see where the mistake was? So no, just fast track and we'll be fine. No, we should have held them over. We should have absolutely held them over. Oh, you're being too partisan. Let's, kumbaya, hold a hand, smell a rose. And you see what this rose smells like? It smells like doo-doo. This is the problem that we have. You arrest a couple judges, all the rest of the judges are you arresting people? You won't get a thing past us now. This is the tumble effect. This whole constitutional crisis that they keep talking about is not a crisis. It's a clarification. And I cannot wait to see what comes out of both sides and where the American people land. Our Constitution has served us well. I'm also looking very forward to America's 250th birthday. It's going to be something to behold. If you've never been to a Trump party, honey, hold on to your hat. It is going to be absolutely amazing. And we have a lot to celebrate, especially when we're clarifying what the Constitution means, not back in the 1700s, but today, what those words mean. So it's going to be epic. And I'm here for all of that smoke. Let's go.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Well, speaking of epic, President Trump, or I should say the Trump administration, put out the coolest video today of he and his cabinet. And I want you guys to take a look. This is it here.
It feels as though there truly is like a team of Avengers focusing on the excesses of government.
The Trump transition team is racing through the picks for the new administration, really moving at lightning speed.
Donald Trump's picks are a show of force as he follows through with his promise to shake things up in Washington.
And they know what their job is.
Trump's nominee for Attorney General Pam Bondi was just confirmed.
To lead the Department of Defense.
Marco Rubio has been confirmed as Secretary of State.
Tulsi Gabbard, the next Director of National Intelligence. The Senate has confirmed Lee Zeldin from Scott Disick.
Let's go, Lee.
Brooke Rollins.
He's given everybody clear direction.
We all feel called to meet this moment.
John Ratcliffe has been confirmed. Kelly Loeffler.
Sean Duffy.
Linda McMahon. Howard Lutnick as the new Commerce Secretary.
J.D. Vance was a fantastic pick. He's just been fabulous to watch as his message and his voice gets out there.
Yeah, the president has a mandate, and they all love each other, and they're working together.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been confirmed.
Christy Nome.
Scott Turner.
Chris Wright.
Chief of Staff Susie Wiles.
Doug Collins.
Michael Waltz. Lori Chavez DeRaymer. Russell Vaught.
Jameson Greer.
The American people voted for change like they'd never voted before. And with the help of this dream team, we're going to embark on the most exciting and successful period of reform and renewal in all of American history.
Wow. That was pretty cool, huh?
That was very cool. It's so much better than dancing down the hallway with your two associates.
Yeah.
Or you got that blue-haired woman from Connecticut.
Right.
Talking trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I think JD Vance may have some competition with Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio, he has been pretty impressive, at least so far. He's like a cool,
he has been
calm but assertive voice, amongst everyone. I like him.
I like him in this role. I said before, I like him in this role. I mean, I think he's always been, I'm going to say, more of the statesman. Right. And so this being the Secretary of State carries over for that. You think he's going to run against JD Vance? I don't know. You think so?
No. Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this role fits him well. And I think if he stays here, for 4 more years, I think he's only going to grow into it even better.
Well, maybe for VP.
Maybe.
Now that'll be the fight. That's going to be delicious. Let me tell you. Yeah. For people who really are into politics like that, that's going to be so good. So good. So many names in that pool.
Yeah. Yes, you are right. You are right. Well, folks, that does it for us tonight. We will be back on Friday. Friday night, we will be back with you guys at 9 p.m. So hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. Share this broadcast with your friends, with your family in a DM on your timeline. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already and subscribe. It really helps to get our video out to a broader audience. And that's what we're here to do. We're fighting all of these fired leftists from MSNBC and CNN. They're coming in with all this CNN and MSNBC money. And now they're on YouTube. So we're still pushing through on here, and we really appreciate all of you guys. Shout out to our moderators, the X-Files and Allie. Who else do we have here?
Laura, I think
Laura. Comfy CJ. I don't know.
I think it was Trace Chocolate and
right. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for all of your assistance here. We love you guys, and we will see you on Friday. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Love you, chat. Love you.
Here at the airport, I'm about to board my flight for San Salvador. The goal of this mission is to let the Trump administration, to let the government of El Salvador know that we are going to keep fighting to bring Abrego Garcia.
He said he was not able to make that happen. Said, I'm not interested at this moment in taking a tour of CCOT. I just want to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia. Trump administration is lying about Abrego Garcia.
This is why independent media is so important. Thanks to people like you, patriots who love America and stand for truth, we're making a difference. Together, we've turned them off, called them out for their lies and propaganda, and held them accountable for their disdain for God-fearing, freedom-loving Americans like us. But we can't stop here. It's time to take action with our dollars. Let's make 2025 the year we double down on our commitment to values-driven choices. Vote with your dollars. Support Made in America. Back companies that honor our families, faith, and country. We found an exciting way to make this switch, and we want you to join us. Check out www.popandswitch.com and click Yes, I Want to Make the Switch. It's that easy. It's time to walk away from corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard that undermine our principles. Let's invest in America. Let's support businesses that share our love for this country. You don't have to take on everything at once, but you can start here. Join us in making this one small yet powerful step. Visit www.popandswitch.com. Click the link and schedule a call with our team to learn how you can make the switch. Together, we can create real change.
What's up, guys? This is Giovanni, co-founder of Metro Conservative Media. We are the definitive home for the urban conservative. You think you got what it takes? Go to metroconservativemedia.com and click join the movement now.